Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are from Group 5 of Psychology of Learning and we are going to present our case study. So here are my team members. There are 5 people, and the major parts of this presentation will conclude the introduction, the test score analysis, the strengths and weaknesses, and the suggestion. So moving on to the introduction.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Raja Haifa and I will brief you on our participant for our case study. So I will introduce you to Miss Rajina Zawani binti Zaman. She is 36 years old and currently running her own business in Johor Bahru. Her education journey started in Perak where she attended kindergarten and primary school. Then she moved to Melaka as she was accepted to MRSM Terendah. After SPM, she decided to pursue interior design, hence she chose to major in interior architecture. A brief overview of the interview we had with Ms. Nadira is that she acknowledges learning as a way of gaining new experience. She also said that one of the ways we can look at if a person is learning or not is by looking at the change of attitude in a person. Lastly, we were asked if she had any significant event in her learning journey and she replied by saying she was working while still studying and it helped her to learn how to manage her time better. And that concludes all from me and I will pass this to the next presenter.
Hi, my name is Nurmai Sarah and I'll be presenting part of the result analysis where we'll look at the type of tests conducted, including its importance. So as for this case study, the 3 types of assessments that were carried out on the individual were Study Skills Questionnaire, VARC Learning Styles Self-Assessment Questionnaire, including the Self-Motivation Quiz. Now, eventually, learning new skills and information would get a lot easier when we already know what our preferred learning style is. And without doubt, there are several benefits of conducting various assessments of learning for oneself. For instance, it can help promote effective learning as we would be able to tackle difficult areas of study and even overcome the challenges when we learn a new material. And in fact, the individual would then view learning as an enjoyable activity rather than a time-consuming task. And for this reason, it can help increase one's self-confidence and also self-respect, which will then assist in achieving any personal and professional goals without even having to underestimate oneself or even their own abilities.
Hi, my name is Noriza and I'll be presenting on the assessment of the result and analyze the scores. So the highest result for the study skills questionnaire is section 3, which consists of study aids and note taking, where the participant received 29/32, which is the same scores as reading and selecting the main idea. This concludes that she has benefited from the usage of study aids, solid note-taking abilities, and developed great reading skills. However, the lowest is motivation and attitude that would reflect on how she needs to focus on increasing her awareness. Next, based on the VARP learning style self-assessment questionnaire, we could see that the summary of her scores was 14 A's, 4 B's, and 12 C's. Based on the result, we could conclude that she has a visual learning style. As a visual learner, she would prefer items that can be observed and seen, such as photos, diagram, demonstration, presentation, videos, and so on. She would say things like "show me" and will be able to perform the findings after watching an example. Lastly would be the self-motivation quiz, is where the participant receive a score of 32. The score interprets that she was doing okay in self-motivation. However, she could achieve more than she had. By strengthening and working on her self-motivation, she would be able to achieve more than she had.
Moving on to the strengths and weaknesses of our participant. So the first strength of our participant is she has a high level of visual spatial skills. So what is visual spatial skills? Visual spatial skills means the ability to identify, integrate, or analyze space in visual form, detail, structure, more than one dimension. So, for example, our participant can navigate well on the road even by using a map. So, next, our participant is an organized person. She likes to do things correctly and by step, and one of the many visual learner strengths is being a great organizer. And third, our participant has a good note-taking technique. The participant maximizes her note-taking technique by involving diagrams, mind maps, and using color-coded notes that help her to understand her learning materials better. And lastly, our participant is good in processing information. This strength also accounts for her excellent technique in reading and her ability in filtering main ideas. This is due to the participant showing high constructivism upon receiving new information. Our participant likes to make learning a meaningful experiences by relating the new materials with her past learning experiences. So, moving on to the weaknesses, there are two weaknesses. The first one is lack of motivation. Everyone goes through a phase where they are lacking of motivation. However, it is important to note that lack of motivation will decrease one's productivity and drive to learn. Hence, it is important for our participants to increase their level of motivation. And next, poor time management and procrastination. Our participant likes to procrastinate and have a poor time management. Being indulged in procrastination will cause one to become lazy and unproductive. Though it will cut our participants some slack, however, it can affect them by making them stressed out whenever they feel like they're running out of time. Poor time management and frequent procrastination will also lead to an increase of academic stress.
So how she can improve her learning method is by develop a strong motivation and manage her time wisely. So motivation and time management are actually closely related to each other, which by setting personal goals, it will help her to identify her priorities and manage her time accordingly. So according to Tracy 2017, a clear written goal is an energy and desire generator that could help a person to overcome procrastination. Because whenever they look at the written goals, they will have an immediate urge to accomplish them. So firstly, we look into developing a strong motivation. So the goals that she written down should be clear, specific, and challenging. Because when she has a greater understanding of what is required of her, the path she should take to achieve the goal becomes clearer, and her chances of succeeding will rises. It also will boost her self-efficacy and reawakening commitment. We can also relate this to operant conditioning by B.F. Skinner, which stated that behavior result in rewards will likely to be repeated. So next, specifically on time management, the most practical way for her to manage her time without making her feel too restricted is by using the time management metrics proposed by Stephen R. Covey. So according to this method, we can delegate our tasks and daily activities into 4 categories or 4 quadrants. So the first quadrant is urgent and important. Second quadrant is not urgent but important. Third quadrant is urgent and not important. And the fourth quadrant is not urgent and not important. So to be effective, 80% of her time should be spent on quadrant 2 instead of the other quadrant. And study and assignment also included in this quadrant. So another way is by chunking one big task into smaller actions, which will make her work more efficiently. For example, like list all necessary actions for an assignment and put a due date for every action. Next is study one topic for 2 hours a day, and this can be called as distributed learning. We can relate this to the theory of connectionism, which emphasizes that learning requires both reward and practice, which distributed learning will give her more satisfaction in studying because she have more time and deeper understanding of what she learned, and this will encourage her to be consistent in that behavior.
And lastly, to conclude everything, this case study has helped us to have a better understanding on learning and how it can affect our knowledge. In addition, we had learned ways to improve our learning, which by having strong motivation, manage time wisely, and breaking big tasks into small ones.